This week's top story. If you see a Nazi, punch a Nazi.
Yeah, but what if the Nazi punches back? Then what?
The internet has been abuzz the past few weeks about this video of famed white supremacist douchebag Richard Spencer getting punched and then proceeding to cry like a baby-ass wimp boy while being interviewed about his idiotic cartoon frog pen.
Well, wait a minute, wait a second. Now, you and I both know damn well that if you got punched in the face, well, you just got slapped in the face for that matter, you would probably, like literally, start crying about that shit. You don't really strike me as a particularly hard individual. So, I mean, honestly, I don't really see how you, or anyone for that matter, is in any position to be upset or to mock someone that's been punched in the face, regardless of who they are. I mean, now, if you're like an MMA fighter or a boxer and you got punched in the face and you started crying about that, well then it would cause some confusion as to why did you pick this particular occupation to try to form money in. I mean, that would be confusing, but getting punched in the face hurts. I'm just saying, I just find it very interesting that you would mock someone who's been punched in the face as if you would not cry about that shit should it happen. I'm just saying.
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard that Richard Spencer got punched in the face, my immediate reaction was, why didn't they just move out the way? But then I saw the video and I was like, oh, he couldn't because the guy snuck him. And I mean, like, what? That's not right. I mean, Nazi or not, I mean, where's the honor? Why did I even ask that? Why did I even ask that question? Why did I even think that some people would have some semblance of honor?
many cheered and many more remixed the video to hits from yesterday and today.
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol. Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
This my shit. Some people took it upon themselves to write think piece after think piece about the ethics of Nazi punching.
I don't really see how you could really write too much of a think piece. I think we're kind of beginning in with, you don't put your hands on people for two reasons. One, they didn't do anything, he's just kind of talking at that particular time. The reason number two is, you don't know what people are capable of. I mean, before we even start talking, like, morally speaking, is it okay to put your hands on random people you don't know? Let's just say pragmatically, does it really make any sense? I mean, what if the nigga had a gun? So now you just put your hands on some random person you don't know, and now they have a gun, and now what? What are you gonna do about that? You gonna get shot. That's what's going to happen. See, and that's why this is why you just don't fuck with people. You don't mess with people because you don't know what they're capable. You don't know them. I mean, if you really think that this guy is a Nazi, and let's take it literally, because I imagine that's how you mean to use the word, that would mean that he's got no problems with slaying Jewish people. So if he don't give a fuck about Jewish people, what the fuck makes you think he cares about you? So why would you put your hands on someone you think is capable of mass That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. It doesn't. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not obtuse. I understand why you think it's fine to punch Nazis. It's because in your mind you perceive them as the ultimate evil, and you laying down the smackdown of a knuckle sandwich on them is just you being a righteous paladin of just good and goodliness. I mean, I get it. I understand the mindset here. However, pragmatically speaking, I just don't think it's reasonable to punch people in the face because you don't know what they're capable of. It's just not smart.
Look, I know that an intellectual's hierarchy of needs peaks at moral superiority, but give it a rest.
What does that even mean? What information are you even trying to convey? I'm sorry, it's just that, you know, I'm a dumbass, and whenever people try to sound smart, it just comes out as meh to me.
Punching a Nazi is the ethical choice, because people only become Nazis when they didn't get that urge punched out of them in childhood.
Oh, okay, well, there's two problems with that. Problem number one is you have a pretty, I wouldn't even say reductionist view of history. I mean, it's just kind of wrong. I mean, people became Nazis because they were indoctrinated into that belief constantly when they were children. It didn't really have much to do with them not being punched. It was just the education that was given to them. And even then, the whole history behind Jewish bankers in Germany is not as black and white as you think. I mean, German population didn't just hate Jews because reasons. There were reasons, and I would encourage you to go look at them. Which I'm not saying justifies mass genocide, because then someone's going to say, I'm not saying that. So then let the record show that doesn't mean that you should kill all of these people. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that these people in their minds felt justified for whatever reason because they were indoctrinated into it. It didn't have anything to do with them not getting punched in the face. So there's that. And And then there's point number 2. If the individual is an adult, then that would mean that his potential to change his mind would greatly diminish. The reason why you teach children a lot of stuff at a young age is because they're really malleable and they absorb information really quickly. But adults aren't like that. Adults have a tough time learning and have an even tougher time changing their views and their opinions on things. So punching him in the face actually would not be conducive to your goal of getting him to not be a Nazi anymore. If anything, it would make him more steadfast in his belief.
Kind of a symbol.
I
don't even really see what was funny about that one. Like, the music didn't even match the scenario. That one was bad. That was a bad one.
It's fun to do the mental gymnastics of deciding whether or not Plato or Socrates or Jaden Smith or whoever else in your Philosophy 101 text would agree with your logical conclusion that punching Nazis is bad because violence is not the answer, but no one cares.
You know, you don't really need mental gymnastics to come down to that conclusion. Now, I'm personally not a person who believes that violence is all bad and not the answer, because sometimes I think it's necessary. Sometimes I think combat can be honorable, and sometimes I think it is needed. So I'm not one of those frilly people who are like, violence is bad all the time. No, context is very important, you know. So coming from that point of view, I'm not saying that violence is just evil and bad, because it's not. However, that said, attacking people who haven't done anything to you is not honorable. Attacking people when they have no ability to fight back is also not honorable. And more than anything, attacking people who haven't done anything to you because they don't feel the way you feel, honestly just kind of begs the ultimate question. And that question is, well, how are you better than them? The entire thesis here, well, the underlying thesis of your video is that because Nazis are evil and bad and I'm all morally justified when I put my hands on them, it's okay to punch them. But my question is, well, how does that make you better than the Nazi? Well, I mean, maybe you don't intend on killing anyone, but I mean, you're attacking people randomly. I mean, hell, you don't even know if Richard Spencer is a Nazi. I think it's safe to call him a white supremacist, I think. Or at the very least, a white nationalist. I think you could say that. As far as a National Socialist goes, well, he's not. Well, he's just not. He's not a National Socialist. So, he's not really a Nazi.
You are under no obligation to hear a Nazi out.
I mean, you're right. To be fair, you're under no obligation to hear anyone out. However, I don't see then how you could come to the logical conclusion that it's okay to punch people in the face. I don't really see how you can connect those thoughts together.
But Akilah, what if they aren't actually Nazis?
Well, at least you have some degree of self-awareness.
Anyone who thinks Hitler had mostly good ideas and argues that there was any silver lining to the tragic, unimaginable horrors done unto Jews during the Holocaust can catch these hands.
Yeah, but two things. One, you have to understand that you can catch their hands too, so... Again, don't you think, just from a pragmatic standpoint, is just jumping into random fights really intelligent? Because it's not intelligent. I'm going to answer my own question. Oh, but I mean, and then there was point number 2. And that is, well, one, does anyone actually think that? I mean, you'll have people who call themselves like neo-Nazis, but I mean, they're more edgy. I don't even think that they actually dislike Jewish people. I think they're just trying to be edgy because they know it messes with people. But does anyone genuinely, like, are there any real Nazi sympathizers? Because like, they might exist, like they might really be real, but I don't think Richard Spencer is one of those people, and even if you did find one of those people, it's not like they have political power, so they can't do anything. It's not like they could really gas Jews or anything like that. So, and even then, the Jewish population here in America, I don't even know the statistics, but I mean, I don't think it's very much. I think most Jews are in Hollywood, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't actually really think that Nazis are a huge worry. I think people just say that because they believe Nazis are the ultimate evil. But pragmatically speaking, I don't think you'll meet very many Nazis anyway, because the National Socialist Party was destroyed back in 1945. So
Half the reason the Holocaust went unchecked for as long as it did was because of this lamentable desire for social loafing, where they'd rather be polite or peaceful to monsters instead of shutting them down forcefully.
No, I think it might have something to do with the fact that Nazis had like rifles and guns and shit, and were like going around killing people. That might have had something to do with it. So maybe punching those people in the face really wasn't like the smartest thing to do.
It's It's not like every person in Germany in the early 1940s was a Nazi.
More than that, some of those German people actually tried to protect Jewish people, which I find to be very interesting as to why Germany gets so much shit when, one, not every German was like a Nazi, and two, some Germans were actually trying to protect Jewish people from the harm. How come no one gives a fuck? I've noticed that about humans. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Like, Germany to this day still gets shit for what Hitler and the Nazis did. But I mean, like, but there were Germans who were trying to do good shit during that time. So how come humans always want to focus on the bad, negative things people do, and never the good ones? It's interesting. It really is. I'm pretty sure there's an answer to that question. I just don't have it.
It's just that the good people decided it wasn't worth the trouble to fight back against the fascist, racist, anti-Semitism as it gained traction in their country.
Well, again, that's not accurate, because, well, they did. And second, remember, the Nazis had, like, guns and stuff. I mean, it doesn't really matter how fast your hands are. It can't beat a speeding bullet, so... Pragmatically speaking, punching people in the face when they have weaponry and when you're not sure what they're capable of is just not smart.
Well, guess what? It's not 1940 anymore. We won't sit back quietly while you Heil Hitler with your pathetic Nazi youth haircut.
I don't know. I find it to be such a silly point of contention. No, really, I do. I don't really think I mean, it's not like people can resurrect Hitler. This isn't supernatural. You know, they can't bring Hitler back to life and try to bring on the, what, the Fourth Reich? Or would it be 3.5 Reich? Yeah, because they didn't really get the Third Reich going on. They kind of got stopped, so would they skip the third one, or would they try to keep it going? I don't know how that would work. That's interesting to me.
Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
And be warned that if you are feeling froggy enough to spout this hate in public, you better be ready to jump. I'm Akilah Hughes, and this shouldn't be news.
I think that is something that we can both agree on. This shouldn't be news, because, like, real Nazis aren't even a thing. And even if you were to actually find a real Nazi, you know what you can, like, do? Like, ignore them. It's not like they're going to do anything to you. They can't do anything to you. They have got no political power. And if they try to put their hands on you, you can always, you know, fight them back in the same way that they can fight you back. And you'll just be starting a lot of unnecessary fights. And again, notice how in the whole Richard Spencer video, the guy snuck him. There's no honor. Even if the guy, if the guy is trying to feel virtuous, trying to feel like some kind of knight or paladin, well, he completely failed in that endeavor, considering that he attacked someone that wasn't even focused on him. I mean, you could try to paint this as morally justifiable as much as you want, but attacking people who are not in any position to defend themselves is not cool at all. Whether they're evil or not, there should be some level of honor when it comes to combat. That's point number one. I mean, point number two is the fact that the Nazi Party is gone. Richard Spencer, I'm not sure, is a National Socialist. He might be a white supremacist, maybe, and I think that's pushing it even still. White nationalist? Sure, I'm pretty sure he is. But that said, I mean, you know what? You know what? They've got no political power. Like, they can't do anything. There's no reason to be scared or sad of neo-Nazis or Nazis at all. It's just a humongous waste of time. Or it's just a gigantic virtue signal that people use to stroke their own egos to feel better about themselves. But the fact of the matter is, Nazis are not a problem in America. They certainly aren't a problem in Germany. They're not a problem anywhere. They're just edgelords. And I don't know, they'll grow out of it eventually if you just kind of leave them to their own devices. And even if they don't, again, it's not like they can do anything, so... So with that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Yeah, shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. And I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.